Commonwealth Matters. I'm Richard Nelson, here with Kentucky Speaker of the House David Osborne, who's going to give us a legislative update. Welcome, David.
Good to be with you. Thank you.
Hey, I really appreciate your time with us. You are in a very busy time of the year. The 2022 legislature convenes tomorrow, and you've got a lot going on, don't you?
It is very few dull moments right now.
No,
it's always a scramble before session. It's always you left a little bit that feeling of I don't know how in the world we're going to get ready for it, but then we always do, and we move on.
Yeah. Welcome back to the Commonwealth Matters, and apologize for that technical difficulty we just had. We are back with Kentucky Speaker of the House, David Osborne. And David, as you were speaking and as I was not able to hear, we were talking about the biennial budget. And because Kentucky, if I understood you correctly, because we have a better financial picture where Kentucky is, we are going to be able to pass a 2-year budget this year, correct?
We will pass a 2-year budget, yes. We still have a lot of uncertainty in the economy, a lot of uncertainty with what the long-term impact of our is going to be on our revenues. But I do think that we have enough information to pass a 2-year budget.
David, what are the chances of doing tax modernization? The legislature a couple of years ago took steps to move away from the state income tax and towards a consumption-based tax. Will there be more efforts in that area?
Richard, I am notorious for saying that the worst time in the world to do tax reform is at the same time you're doing a budget. I believe that they are competing interests, both extremely important, but raising money and spending money at the same time are not necessarily a hand-in-hand endeavor. I think that it distorts what is maybe the best tax policy to develop. That said, I do believe that because we have record revenues, record surplus, record budget reserve trust fund, I do believe that it gives us perhaps a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to truly do comprehensive tax reform. Because of that, I do believe that you will see us moving the ball on tax reform, and I expect us to be very aggressive with it. I think that is also one of the reasons you're going to see us be very aggressive from a time standpoint on the budget. I think that you will see us move the budget quicker than perhaps you have in the past to eliminate that talking about both issues at the same time. If we can get the budget out of the House, get it down to the Senate, so we're not focused on how much money we have to spend, then I think it gives us the freedom to have a broader conversation about tax reform.
One important issue regarding the budget and where some of that stimulus, I want to go back to that. $1.1 billion budget surplus from last fiscal year. We're expecting another over $1 billion from the Federal American Rescue Plan Act. Will any of this money be allocated towards the state pension system?
Not direct. Well, I'm going to answer that kind of 2 different ways, Richard. The federal monies that came down actually had a prohibition against using those for any pension deficits. So we can't directly appropriate federal monies for that. However, the surplus that we have, the monies that we have in the Budget Reserve Trust Fund, certainly those monies can be appropriated. I think that you will continue, just as you've seen the last 3 budgets that we've passed. You've seen us fully fund the pension system at over twice the legal requirement. I think you will continue to see us make that commitment, and quite possibly even more than you've seen us do in the past.
Very good. Redistricting, and I know our time is limited, but the House did release a map of new legislative districts because Eastern Kentucky and West Kentucky has lost population. Louisville has increased, Lexington has increased. It's going to pit at least 4 Republican incumbents. Well, it puts them in the same districts, yes, and also 4 Democratic incumbents in the same districts. I'm sure you're hearing a lot from the folks across the state. It's a very difficult endeavor to redistrict and to put together fair maps. Do you expect this to pass? And then I guess the second part, and maybe the most important part, is it going to be challenged in court?
I can't answer the legal side of it, Richard. That's something that I can't possibly predict. I will tell you that I am 100% confident that we complied with every legal and constitutional consideration. We made a pledge from day one that we were going to do that. This is the first time in history that we've ever gotten to draw a map. And maybe 10 years, 20 years, 30 years down the road, a Republican majority drawing maps is not going to be an oddity. But I will tell you that we made the commitment early on that we only get one chance to do it the first time, and we're going to do it right. And I am confident in the map. I'm proud of the map. Redistricting is an incredibly difficult process. Quite frankly, I never had a full appreciation for just how difficult it is. And I think the public at large sees it obviously as a largely political interest. And it's really not. I mean, certainly there's some politics that comes into it, but at the end of the day, this is a very mathematical and legal formula. And I can't tell you the number of calls that I've gotten just over the weekend of people saying, "Well, why didn't you put County A with County B instead of with County C?" And the fact of the matter is, the population requirements won't allow it in many cases. The division of counties wouldn't allow it. When you look at all of the legal and constitutional provisions, it's very, very difficult to put together a tremendous amount of options.
Very good. School choice. I know we're moving quickly here, but school choice is a hot issue. 86% of Kentuckians, according to one survey, favor some form of school choice. Do you expect school choice legislation to come forward this year or be considered in the Kentucky House?
I do expect to see additional school choice legislation, Richard. I'm not 100% sure what it will look like at this point. There are several different bills that are floating around out there. We're still waiting on some court decisions on what we passed last year. So we're going to kind of work around some of those outstanding issues. But yes, I think that you saw a caucus that was firmly committed to offering additional opportunities for kids across the state, and that commitment has continued. And I think that you will see us continue to advance that cause, as well as, quite frankly, doing additional things that we can to improve the quality of public education. At the end of the day, I think that we will all acknowledge that public education will still be the cornerstone for what educates the vast majority of kids in Kentucky. And so, yes, we want to give additional choice opportunities to as many as possible, but we also want to do everything that we can to improve the overall quality of public education.
Very good. Last issue, David, is the omnibus abortion bill. State Representative Nancy Tate introduced a bill that would make it more difficult for minors to get an abortion, put restrictions on disposing fetal tissue, and create more restrictions for abortion medication. You have a pro-life majority. 75 out of 100 members are Republican. Most identify as pro-life. Do you see this issue moving fairly quickly, moving through the Kentucky House?
Richard, I think that by any objective view, this has been one of the most pro-life legislatures over the last 4 years anywhere in the country. I see nothing that will change that commitment to the protection of life. And I can't get into specifics on the omnibus bill just because, quite frankly, we've not talked about all the specifics in total, but I think that clearly we are committed to doing anything and everything that we can possibly do to protect life in the Commonwealth.
Very good. Speaker of the House, David Osborne, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for your work. God bless you, and take care. Happy New Year.
Thank you, Richard. Always a pleasure to be with you.
Thank you.